readers, psychic readers, healers, angel workers that are using the numbers and numerology to tap into an added insight into clients and into loved ones and family and friends and into ourselves and our own life. Because numerology is a language. It's the language of numbers, and every number that exists, whether those numbers come from your birth date or they come from a date or a month or a date on the calendar or letters and words, every letter of the alphabet has a number that it corresponds to. And that's how we can get numerical values out of names and words and titles. And so, even if you had like a program that you wanted to launch, like a product or something, or hi, Regine in Munich, thank you for tuning in. It's lovely to connect with you. So even if you were running like a workshop, or you had a book that you wanted to publish, or you wanted to have the name of a business, check out the numerology, the number vibration or the energy of that title, of that name, of that band name, that book title, that workshop, that website name. There's something really to be said for the numerical value and the numerology of all dates and letters and names. And, if you weren't sure where to begin, my first book, the Numerology Guidebook, is a really good place to start. And that's one of the Hay House titles there. But today I'm going to be talking to you in terms of numerology for your November 2023 numerology forecast. Because each month we all have a personal number, a personal year number, and a personal month number that will give us some insight into what's in store for us for the month and for the year. So before I get into what your forecast is, hey Shirley, how are you? Before I get, and Janet, hi Janet, you're a Life Path 7 and a 7-year. Oh, you know your stuff. I love that. And also number 7 is one of my favorite numbers. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that. You're not supposed to have favorites, right? So basically, before I'm going to dive into your forecast, I want to let you know, as most of you that tune in each month already know, I give away 5 free 27-page numerology chart and 12-month forecast reports to 5 winners that I just pick randomly. Now, you 5 people can either be new people who are signing up and subscribing to my free monthly forecast newsletter, and the link will be in the Hay House comments down below. But also you can simply go to my website, michellebuchanan.co.nz. And on the homepage, you will see subscribe to the free monthly forecast. And you can either subscribe. So everyone who's new and subscribes will go in the drawer. But also you guys that have been following me for a while, or even those of you who follow me for a short time, even you guys can send me a message through the website saying you want to go in the drawer, and you will be in the drawer as well. And 5 people will win one of those reports. And I draw the winners a week from today, because I like to give people who needed to catch up on the playback video enough time. I like to give them a week to get this message out, and then I draw the winners. So watch out. You'll get an email notification. So check out this time next week. Check your spam and your junk mail, because sometimes my emails like to go into the junk mail folder. So now that that's out the way, let's start and let's begin by calculating. Hello from Sydney, Diane. Oh, you're a first timer. Well, thank you for tuning in, my little Aussie friend from across the ditch. And Catherine from Sydney too. Oh, I'll be in Sydney actually. I'm taking my daughter to Taylor Swift in February. And Kathy in Boston, always a numbers girl. And you found out about numerology last year. Oh my goodness, and you're in a 5-year. I bet that's been pretty action-packed, right? The 5 year is a very fast-paced moving year. So let's talk about calculating what your personal year number is for this year, everybody. Now, some of you already know, but those of you who don't know, what we're going to do is we're going to add the day and month of your birth date to number 7, all right? And why number 7? Because 2023 adds up to 7. So basically what you're doing, and this is for the personal year number, is we're adding the day and the month of your birth date to the year that we're in, which is 2023. And 2023 is a 7. So I've already worked that bit out for you. Keep it simple. So what you're going to do is you're going to add the day and month of your birth date to number 7. Then if you add up with a double-digit number, you're going to keep adding those 2 digits together until you eventually get a single number between 1 and 9, and that's your personal year number for the whole year. You've only got 2 more months of that personal year number because it changes next year. It goes up 1. So if you're in a 5-year this year, you'll be in a 6-year next year. If you're in an 8-year this year, you'll be in a 9-year next year. And they go in a 9-year cycle. So if you're in a 9-year this year, you're going right back to 1 because they go in 9-year increments. So let's go one more time with that calculation method. Oh, hi, Kerry. You're in a 6-year. I love the 6-year. And thank you so much for joining us, Kerry. And you're in a 5-year as well, Regine. And yes, you are in a 7-month. You are so switched on. I like you. You get a gold star. And yours is a 7-2 Tula. Awesome. I love the 7-year. So what we're doing, remember, it was add the day and month of your birth date to number 7, add any double digits together until you get a single digit between 1 and 9. Now, for those of you who aren't very good with instructions verbally, you can follow the link that's in the comments here, just there, it just popped up, and that'll take you to a page on my website where you can click on forecasts if you're not on this Facebook feed and you're watching the video at a later time. And that will give you a written description of how to calculate your personal year number, because sometimes people are much better at seeing something visually than they are hearing and listening to instructions. So let's do an example of a birth date, 28th of March. Okay, so we're going to add the 2 and the 28 and the 3 to number 7. So we would go 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 3 is 13, plus 7 is 20. Now that's double digit, 20. So we take one more step. We add the 2 numbers together. 2 plus 0 was a 2. Now, let's say, for example, you added up your birth date to number 7, the day and month of your birth date to number 7. And let's say you ended up with 19. There'd be one more step required there because you would go 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. Okay, and so just keep adding any double numbers together until you get a single number between 1 and 9, and that is your personal year number for the year. So, and you're a 7 as well. God, we've got so many people in a 7-year this year. And you know what? It's amazing, the 7-year. Hey, Shirley, you're in a 4-year. Well, you're going to be in a 5-year next year, which is probably going to be a bit easier than this year might have been. But I bet you got a lot done this year. Mary! Oh, my God, it's my friend Mary Newton. She is in New Zealand, intuitive reader. She's so cool. In fact, she's done one of my numerology workshops in New Zealand. And Mary is amazing. She's in a 1-year. So, guys, let's talk about, and you're in a 1-year too, Diane. Oh, God, lots of 1 years. And a 4 personal year for Janice Jennett. Oh, that's a cool name, Janice Jennett. Sounds like a famous name. So, basically what it is, guys, is we have what's called a universal year. And that's for a year that we're all in. So we all feel the influence of the universal year number. And how we calculate that universal year number is basically the year that we're in, which in this case is 2023. So if we were to add that up, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is a 7. So therefore the universal year number, because we have a universal year that influences all of us, and a personal year number, that's our own personal forecast, that's a bit more, a bit more obvious to us than the universal year number is. But for the whole world and all of us in it, 2023 has been a really powerful year because it's been a 7 universal year. And that 7 is designed to catapult personal development and spiritual development, spiritual awareness. It's designed to amplify our self-improvement, to amplify our connection to source energy, to amplify our intuitive abilities. It's asking us, the 7 universal year that's influencing all of us, and of course a double dose of what I'm about to say for those of you who are in a 7 personal year number, and I know a lot of you are because already a lot of you have been in the comments, is that 7, whether it's personal year, universal year, it is designed to have us asking the big questions. Who am I? What's the meaning of life? What's really going on out there that you can't necessarily see with the physical senses? So it's encouraging us to go within. It's encouraging us to go deeper, to look deeper, to look at ourselves, to look at maybe those parts of our personality that maybe our triggers, our shadow side, the side of ourselves that is holding us back from being the happiest and the most in alignment, and that and what is preventing us from maintaining a high vibration as consistently as possible. The 7-year is putting that under the microscope, and it's saying, take a look, make the adjustments, make the necessary improvements so that you can be happier, you can live a healthier life, you can be more in alignment. And what happens when you're in alignment and when you're living a high vibration? You manifest your goals and dreams with greater ease. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. You are synchronistically led to where it is you need to be or where you want to be, and you're in the flow of life. Or as Abraham Hicks would say, you're in the vortex. You are in that space where everything just works out, and you feel so complete and content, and you feel like you belong, and you feel the oneness in everything. Now, can't you see how important it is to do the work that's necessary to get us in that space? And that's why I love the 7-year, because if there's ever a year of all of those 9 years that can help us catapult our ability to be able to achieve those goals, it's the 7-year. And of course, next year we're in an 8 universal year, which is the year of manifestation. So it's almost like this 7 universal year gives us the opportunity to do the work so we can really reap the benefits in that 8 year of manifestation, where we attract what we are, where we attract what we focus our attention on the most, where what we believe to be will be. So exciting times to come, guys. And we've got to head down, bum up, do the work, navigate our way through the crazy ups and downs of life, and maintain a high vibration, which isn't the easiest thing to do. But if we're in the best place possible to be able to do that, it's on the Hay House team. I'm telling you right now, we are in the right place, and we are one big family, and we're in it together. And isn't it cool to know that we're not on our own? We have got our own spiritual tribe. So for the month, we've got that universal month, universal year of 7 for all of us, but we also have a universal month for November for all of us. And that is a 9. All right. So the 9 universal month that influences all of us with that 7 universal year is a month of endings, completion, and transformation. So whatever it is you've got to let go of in order to raise your vibration and feel good, let that shit go. Let it go. Let bygones be bygones. Forgive and let things go. Now, you don't always have to forgive everyone and say, let's be best friends again. Let's all be lovey-dovey. You can just forgive that things turned out the way they did, or forgive what you went through, or forgive the wrongdoings. But just be able to make peace with things so that you can release them and let go and move towards better opportunities, better beginnings, because your energy will bounce back into a high frequency. When we're unable to forgive, when we're angry, when we're holding on to things, when we live in regret, when we're beating ourselves up, when we're judging ourselves for our mistakes, when we're angry at all the misfortune or all the shitty things that we've had done to us, we've got to acknowledge those, but we also have to learn eventually to make peace with what was or what is, so that we can then release it and let it go. Because it's in the releasing that we're able to move forward, where all the good stuff is that's waiting for us. That's the key. That's the incentive. So this 9 universal month is saying, let go and let God, and let go and move forward, ready for these new beginnings and new opportunities that are coming. So clear out your closet, forgive the past, make peace with where you are, and get ready to, let go of what you've grown out of and move forward towards better things. So let's start the forecast now for the personal year numbers that are more personal to us, that are more accurate for us individually. And starting with personal year number 1. You guys are in a 1 year of new beginnings. So this whole year, which is it's only got 2 more months left. So you've already done most of the heavy lifting. This whole new beginning was a new opportunity for you to create a new you. Now, some people, that year has been very obvious. You may have started a new job, or you may have a new hobby, new friendships, new activities that you're interested in. Whereas other people may have everything in their life exactly the same, but they've got a new mindset. So the new beginning comes from a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of living. Now, for the month of November, you're in a 3 personal month for this month of November. So I want to give you some advice on how you can maintain or raise your vibration. All right, because it's in the high vibration that you can manifest your goals and dreams with greater ease. So how do you raise your vibration in a 3 month? Well, 3 represents a couple of things. First of all, here's your numerology guidance card for the month. These are the numerology guidance oracle cards. You don't need to know anything about numerology to use them. They're just going to give you readings based on what the numbers say, but it's not actually about your personal numbers. It's about whatever cards you draw intuitively and what your higher self and your spirit guides and those who work with you give you cards and messages. But for you guys, we've got a number 3 card, and that says creativity, right? And that's one aspect of the 3. So this is a great time for you to do what enables you to express yourself creatively. Now, some people express themselves creatively, literally artistically, in an artistic way. Other people, it's not the artistic thing. It's the creativity, verbal communication and creativity, creative expression through writing, speaking, counseling, selling, advising, singing, it doesn't really matter, but there's 3 ways of self-expression and creativity: artistic, verbal, and written. And then the third type of creative self-expression is through creative ideas. And the creative ideas, and they might be, coming up with some inspired information that's come from your higher self, that you, in a clear, cognizant way, which means you didn't logically think of it. It came to you. It was divine inspiration. And be open to that this month. Be open to ideas that can come from outside of you that are trying to get your attention. How do you hear that? How do you feel that? How do you see that and receive it? Quiet time alone. So you're not too distracted, so you can hear those messages coming through. So for you, make time deliberately to express yourself creatively. Also, here's another big one: how to raise your vibration. And this is the case with whatever month or year we're in, but especially for 3, because number 3 does represent joy, happiness, joy, fun. And this month is encouraging you to go out of your way to do whatever makes you feel good. Now, it seems like doing things that make us feel good, or having fun, or doing more creative or hobbies and things that make us feel good, that in the material business world would on paper seem like a waste of time, right? It's not productive. However, in the energetic world, in the spirit world, it is the most valuable, one of the most valuable things you can do. Because when you feel good, your vibration increases. When you are happy, you're in a high frequency. And it doesn't matter how you feel happy, but if you are feeling good and you're thinking good, you're attracting good. So therefore, it may be a waste of time to do things that make you feel good on paper, but energetically, and we are energetic beings, remember, in a physical body, it's more beneficial to us on that spiritual energetic level to be feeling good. So I want you this month to pay attention to what makes you feel unhappy, because what the 3 can sometimes do is it can sometimes highlight what makes you unhappy so that you can then be aware of what you need to do to be happy, and pay attention to that. And get out and about, be a bit more social, and don't be afraid to speak your truth. That's very important for you. Speak your truth. Have conversations, as awkward as some of them may be. Get the information out, connect, and communicate. All right, I'll leave that with you. Now let's move on to personal year number 2. Now, you guys, this can be a bit of a funny old year, to be honest with you. It can be an emotional year. It can be a year where there seems to be a bit more conflict in your life than there normally is. And the 2 year will amplify the emotions. It's a great opportunity for you to really get in touch with what your self-esteem, what issues are holding you back to do with your self-confidence and your self-esteem, so that you can really start to love yourself. Don't beat yourself up for your mistakes. Don't dwell on things you could have done that you didn't do, or things you did and you did wrong. Hey, try better next time. Give yourself a break. Treat yourself like a friend. Now, this year, you may feel that you have to be more cooperative than you normally would to avoid confrontations and conflicts with people. All right. So you have to be more cooperative than normal and tread carefully, especially with those that are quite sensitive around you. And you yourself may feel more sensitive than usual. But relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface may rise to be resolved in a 2 year. And that can be with work colleagues, friends, family, children, partners, clients, neighbors. There's no limitation to where that can brew. Where things can brew that are brewing beneath the surface. So let's take a look now. You're for the month of November, you're in a 4 personal month. And that means this is a month. And how do you raise your vibration in this 4 month? By putting your head down and your bum up. Do the work, all right? This is a month that is saying persevere. In fact, here's your card for the month. Your numerology guidance card is this one, perseverance, all right? For that 4 month, what's going to raise your vibration is by not procrastinating. It's about taking action and being proactive and doing whatever needs to be done to get yourself and or your life where you want it to be. So take a look. You may have a goal, and look at that goal and make note of what steps need to be taken to fulfill, or what actions need to be taken to achieve that goal, and get off your butt and do the work. Take those steps. Now, you don't have to complete that task or that goal this month, but you certainly need to get the wheels in motion. For some people, it's about building on things, working on things behind the scenes to create a solid foundation. But one thing's for certain, you need to be disciplined this month. You need to be focused. You need to be dedicated, committed. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So you may find there is more on your plate this month, more things that need to be done, more asked of you, or more effort required to get the results that you want. So your job is to put in the work and have that positive mindset that you will achieve. You will get there in the end. You will achieve your goals. But your job is to know it's not a sit on your butt, watch the world go by, dum-de-doo month. It is a high energy month. All right. So be prepared for that. All right. So, and be organized as well, because there can be a lot of, you need to be organized and grounded. All right. And structured and orderly. So we'll move on now to personal year number 3. This year has been designed to, one, encourage you to speak your truth, actually. The number 3 is about expression and communication. So there may be times where it's been necessary for you to really speak up about how you feel. It's a year where you have been encouraged to do more of what makes you feel good, because the more you feel good, the better your health. The better you feel, the more in synchronicity you will be with life. You'll be in the right place at the right time. But there is deliberate effort required, all right? And consistent deliberate effort for you to make sure that you are doing what you possibly can to help yourself to feel good. Now, for the month of November, you are in a 5 personal month. Now, the combination of a 3 personal year with a 5 personal month, well, both the 3 and the 5 are what I call scattered numbers or scattered energies. And that means that they're very changeable. So they're not slow, dense, heavy, consistent, grounded, balanced energy. They can be erratic together, those 2 numbers. Now, that can be a very exciting thing. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be very charismatic, very dynamic, very adventurous, very, wow, what's around the corner? I don't know, anything can happen, and it usually does kind of vibe. So because anything can literally happen, and it usually does, this energy is very changeable, very quick moving, very unexpected. is you need to make sure that you are very adaptable when you are in this combination of numbers, so that you can roll with the punches and that you are flexible and adaptable and ready to change and pivot based on whatever comes your way, especially out of the blue, things that you didn't expect. So don't have your plans too set in stone this month. Try and not be too rigid. Try and be quite flexible. So you make arrangements, or you say that you're going to go through and make plans, but let people know, hey, I want to do this. I'm committing to this, but just letting you know if anything changes. Don't have your plans too set in stone, okay? So if you've got something really important that must be done exactly to plan, then just try and save it till next month when you're in a bit more of a stable combination of numbers, because it's a very changeable dynamic energy. So great. What can you do in that energy? And the positive is, if there's anything unexpected or exciting you want to do, go for it. Have an adventure, travel, try out for things that you normally wouldn't give a go because you thought, oh, I can't do that, or that won't ever happen for me, or I'm not good enough. Give it a go, because you can easily wing it in this combination of numbers, and things that you really didn't think could happen can happen. So give it a shot, especially if you've got you don't have all your hopes pinned on it. Just be lighthearted about things and go, oh, I might as well just give this a go. You never know your luck in the big city, and just give it a crack and see what unfolds. But you also need to make sure that you are quite organized, and that extra effort required to be sort of, because you can be easily distracted and sidetracked, and you may start things and you may not finish them, and you might be over here and then something comes up and you're over there. So you kind of need to, write things down. You kind of need to plan things a bit better. You need to write things down in your diary so you don't forget, and follow through with things as well, because definitely going to be easily distracted. But it's a very exciting combination of numbers. So something really exciting things can happen as well in this combination of numbers. I love this energy, but I know whenever I'm in this combination of numbers that I've always got extra effort required to be organized and stable, because I love being stable. I don't like these high highs, low lows, and crazy. I like sort of being quite grounded when I'm in this combination of numbers, because it helps me to navigate those unexpected twists and turns and still have my feet on the ground and not lose my mind. All right. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 4. So you guys have been in a year where, it's been a year where there's probably been a lot asked of you. And Nancy, you're in a 4. So, have you found that this year has been a year that's effort has been required to get things set up or get things in place where they need to be to create a solid foundation moving forward? It's usually a year where you're not sitting around with nothing to do. There's usually things that need to be done. Some people it's working on, their home. Some people it's working on relationships. Some people it's working on a business, working on finances, they're working on health. There's usually work that needs to be done in a 4, but it's a really powerful year, because what it does is, if you do that work, then by the end of the 4 year, you've actually got something to show for it. You've actually got, wow, you can look back at the end of this year and go, man, I actually really achieved something this year. Or even if it's not completed this year, you've got the wheels in motion. And that's what it's about, setting things up, creating a solid foundation. So you guys are in a 6 month this month, a 6 personal month. And the 6, I forgot to give a card. All right, so let's have a look. The 6, you guys, the 6 card for you for your month of November is the love card. And that's because number 6 does govern, love energy, but it's not just romantic love. It's love in terms of what this card means, and what the 6 month means for you guys is, the first piece of advice is train yourself to see things through the eyes of love. And what I mean by that is, especially in conflict or especially in challenging times, to be able to turn around and view the situation from another perspective, the higher perspective, to see through the eyes of love. What would love do now? Or what would love see? How would love see the situation? To be unconditionally loving, to be able to see things from another's point of view or another person's perception rather than just your own. Why did that person behave that way? Why was that person angry? Why did they do that thing to me just then? Or why did that happen that way? And instead of just looking at it through your own point of view, think of it from the other person's perspective. And that's what that number 6 love card can mean as well in that 6 months. See through the eyes of love. Now, also, it can mean that there's extra effort required and put time into your relationships, making them the best that they can possibly be. Okay, so for some people, relationship issues that have been brewing beneath the surface can rise to be resolved, or things can get to a bit of a head, or some people can either, the way I describe number 6 is they can either make up or break up, or, new beginnings can form with new relationships, or as a result of some of the conflict that's come to the surface to be resolved, then we can go and a relationship can literally move up to a deeper level, to a higher frequency as a result of that disruption or that challenge. And so there's a lot of opportunity to improve relationships. It's also a month to be there for those who may need you: children, family, friends, work colleagues, neighbors, partners. Usually when we're in a 6, it means that there's more asked of us, maybe to be that shoulder to cry on, maybe to give a bit of advice, maybe to be there for your own self. The number 6 month does mean, in that love card, self-love. Having a lot of time for self-care, taking care of your own needs, making sure your own glass is half full, loving yourself, being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself, treating yourself like a friend, focusing on what's good about you, focusing on what's lovable and likable about you, instead of dwelling on what you feel is wrong or what you've done wrong or what's not good enough. Let all that shit go. That's just a waste of energy. But how you raise your vibration in a 6 is to be more open-hearted, more loving, more giving, more caring. There may be times where you may feel that you've been put out, that you have to put your own needs aside to be there for others, and so be it. The universe will let you make up for that further down the line. But do the right thing and be there for others. So I'll leave that with you, and I'll move on now to personal year number 5. So this year is a fast-paced moving year, and Idri, you're in a 5. And the 5 year is literally a year of progress, movement, and change, where anything can happen, and it usually does. So on one hand, it's good if there are changes that need to be made in your life, and you know that they need to be made, and now is the time to take action and make those changes proactively, where you are in the driver's seat of the change, where you are in charge, right? Because here's how the 5 year also works. If there are changes that need to be made, but you're procrastinating and you're not making those changes, then the universe may make them for you. And sometimes that can be highly inconvenient. And we don't want that. We want things to be as smooth and easy and as, the best they can possibly be in our life, right? We don't need any more complications. So therefore, that's why it's encouraging to make the changes that need to be made proactively. It's an exciting year where unexpected things can happen. So for some people, it can be unexpected, challenging things like, oh my God, I had no idea my car was going to break down like that. It's never done it ever before, but now it doesn't in the 5 year. Or it can be really exciting opportunities and things you never saw coming, like surprises, like good surprises. And so be positive, visualize that your life is exciting and fun. And no matter what comes up, no matter what presents itself to you on your path, you can pivot, you can adapt, and you can be happy within those unexpected changes and events. It is a great time to take a vacation. It is a great time to try new things. It is a great time to promote yourself, to get yourself out there, to maybe be a bit more of a mover and a shaker. And it's also a great time to do things a different way than you may have always done them, to think outside the box, all right, to be progressive and to be a bit more modern and taking new steps and new techniques that you've never used or done before. It's a great time for that. Now, that's for your year, and you are in a 7 month, okay, for November, and here's your numerology guidance oracle card for November, and that is personal growth. So what that 7 month will do for you this month, and don't forget you're in that 7 personal month, but you're also, or we are also, all of us, in a 7 universal year. So there's a double 7 energy for you guys this year, this month. And that 7 is encouraging you to really go within and to go into self-examination mode. All right, to look at yourself and ask yourself, what do I need to do or be or change within myself so I can live a happier, healthier, more harmonious life? And it may be rethinking a life's experience you've had in the past and reevaluating it and thinking of it from another perspective. It may be spending more time on your health and well-being because you've spent too much time working and being caught up in the chain gang of life and business and money and career and everything, and you haven't had enough downtime. You haven't had enough time to bring joy into your life. It might be working on improving a relationship or walking away from certain relationships or a career or certain things that you've grown out of that really aren't making you feel very happy. And so the 7 month is asking you to go within and ask the big questions. Who am I? What's the meaning of my life? What is making me happy? What's making me unhappy? What changes do I need to make? What can I improve within myself so that I can improve my own self, the way I feel, my relationships with others? This month is also encouraging you to spend more quiet time alone. It's in that quiet solitude and that quiet time alone that you receive what's called divine guidance, that you receive that intuitive hit, that clear cognizance information that tells you what steps to take, what direction to go in. It gives you the inspired action to take that you logically would never have come up with yourself if you were caught up in all of the distractions of life. But in the quiet alone time, in the silence, it's where the sound of your soul can make itself known, where your higher self will communicate with you. So make that space this month. Also get out in nature. Spend some more time. Doesn't matter. It might be a walk in a park. It may be just spending time with some trees, animals, pets. If you can walk or be near water, that's awesome as well. Health and well-being. Focus on your health and well-being. Maybe take a look. Some of you maybe time for you to get a health checkup just to make sure that you're all good, everything's going well. Maybe adopt some healthier practices. Could be anything. Could be intermittent fasting, could be juicing, could be sound healing, there's so many things. But it is a time to go within and to focus on your health and well-being, your spiritual development and your personal well-being. So I'll leave that with you. And we'll move on now to personal year number 6. You guys are in a year where, you are that shoulder to cry on this year. There is a focus on the people and the relationships in your life this year. And you are being asked to be that shoulder to cry on where possible. Now, some of you may work in a field or are hoping to work in a field where you are being of service to other people. And this is a great year to be chipping away and building upon that. Whether you're training and learning how to be a therapist of some sort, whether you are working on things behind the scenes and doing something on the side of your other regular 9-to-5 job and you're building up a business, or, you might just be dabbling and doing little readings for people or healings, or you may simply in your personal life being there for those that need assistance or advice or a shoulder to cry on, or you're advising friends, hey, read this book, or, watch this video on YouTube of this person I discovered. It really helped me and it can help you too. Or you're simply leading by example. The work you've been doing on yourself is reflecting in who you are now. And the people around you are recognizing that. And they're like, wow, you really have come far. You've changed. How did you do that? Like, I want some of that. What's your secret? Regardless of how you're doing what you do in terms of being there for other people, the 6th year really is a year to catapult all of that. And there is also that element of self-love and self-acceptance that's necessary for you this year, for you to really learn to be your own best friend, to be kind to yourself, to learn to just let things go, to learn to not beat yourself up about mistakes, to learn to just love yourself, warts and all. We're all a work in progress and we always will be. And it's a beautiful thing. We're not meant to be perfect. Isn't that a relief? Now, you guys, and you may have relationship issues that rise to be resolved this year, because the 6 is the year where relationship issues can rise to be resolved. But you, for the month of November, are in an 8 month. And what I love about the number 8, and this is your card, your Numerology Guidance Oracle card for the month, your message is this: manifestation. Oh, manifestation. I love that. Oh, you really need to get to know the law of attraction, the principles of the law of attraction, and all the intricate details behind the scenes when you're in an 8 frequency, or if you're an 8 life path, or you have an 8 in a core position in your chart. Because 8 is the number of manifestation. We're all manifesting anyway, but when there's an 8 involved, it amplifies the manifestation process. So therefore, it really pays to understand that process like the back of your hand. And as I always mention, when I talk about manifestation and the law of attraction, number 8, some great resources, Hay House authors, Abraham Hicks, Jerry and Esther Hicks, or Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks. And you can also go onto YouTube and you can watch some Abraham Hicks videos for free. There are thousands of them. You can also learn, as well as Hay House author, Joe Dispenza. Dr. Wayne Dyer talks a lot about manifestation with Hay House, but one of my favorite authors is Sandra Ann Taylor and her book, Quantum Success. I absolutely love that book. It is so easy to read. It's got information in it about the manifestation process that other books don't have. Another book that's really good is called Frequency, by an author called Penny, Penney, Pierce, or Pierce, if you're American or Canadian, Pierce, Pierce. And that is a really, really good book too. I love that book as well. So manifestation. So what I want you to do is I want you to do things deliberately to raise your vibration. The first way you can do that is gratitude. What have you got to be grateful for? And I'll start you off. If you've got water to drink and you've got a roof over your head, already you are blessed. If you've got even just one person in your world that you can talk to, you are blessed. If you have an animal, a pet that you can snuggle with and love and pet, you are blessed. If you're not in a war-stricken country with the fear of being bombed at any second, you are blessed. Okay, there is so much to be thankful for, but don't overlook the little things. Sometimes we can only be in a state of gratitude or appreciation when it's something big. But that's the illusion. We want to look at all the small things. Do you know the things that make my day the best? When I see beautiful flowers, or I see beautiful blue sky, or beautiful bright green grass and trees. Isn't that crazy? But it's not. It literally makes my heart sing. You should see what happens when I see a dog on the street or a cat. Oh my God, forget it. I am mush. I just love it. But that's what I mean. It's about training yourself to notice the small things and really appreciate them. Let them light up your world. Let them open up your heart. Now, the number 8 month that you're in means there is a focus on the financial aspect of number 8 as well, to have an attitude of abundance, to budget your finances and not overspend, but also to go out of your way to deliberately attract the things you want with affirmations, with visualization. What's your affirmation? I am abundant and everything I need flows. I'm in the right place at the right time. All is well in my world. I am financially I am financially safe and secure. I have all the money I want and all the money I need to buy everything I want and everything I need. Whatever it is, I always say I am financially safe and secure. So also another thing to be aware of is the 8 will manifest. So make sure that you're not doing anything dodgy, and make sure you're not worrying too much about the things you don't want, because we attract what we think about the most. So if you're thinking a lot about what you don't want, or you're worrying about what could go wrong, or you're angry about something that's already happened, or depressed or frustrated, you might want to get your head, knock that on the head, because you're going to attract more of it. We don't want that, do we? So here's a little thing that you can do, a little trick you can do. When you catch yourself out dwelling on what's wrong or what you don't want, as you catch yourself doing it and you go in the moment, oh, now I know what I don't want. What do I want? And you flip it round to the opposite of that and start attracting and visualizing, what does that look like that you want? How would that feel if it happened? How would your world be if that was to come true, and go to that space and feel it and imagine it and live in that world, okay, in your mind. So I'll leave that with you, and we move on now to personal year number 7. And you guys are in that 7 personal year with a 7 universal year. So you get a double dose of that 7. And if you've been listening to me for a while, I'll sound like a broken record going on and on and on about this 7 energy, because it's just such... In fact, Pythagoras, right? He didn't create numerology. It was already around before he came along 2,500 years ago. But Pythagoras was a Greek mystic and mathematician. And he didn't put numerology on the map, but he definitely put it out to the world in a big way. And back in those days of Pythagoras, in the secret ancient mystery schools where they would teach like astrology and astronomy and numerology and the music of the spheres and healing arts and all that sort of thing, nothing was written down. It was all verbal. And it was very difficult to get into these secret mystery schools because this information wasn't to be, to be caught in the wrong hands. So it was very difficult to get into the mystery schools. But if you had a 7 and a core position in your numerology chart, you were almost automatically granted in, because it's part of your destiny to know this information. And number 7 was said to be Pythagoras' favorite number. And why is that? Because of its spirituality. Number 7 is the number of mind, body, spirit. It's the number of self-awareness, self-improvement, personal development, personal growth. It's a number of spiritual awareness, spiritual connection, spiritual relationship to source energy. And we're in a 7 universal year. And I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people that are what we would call normies, or people that aren't spiritually minded, that have crossed over into our neck of the woods now, because people are having awakenings. People are waking up. People are starting to meditate or do yoga, or, what's this law of attraction? Who's this Joe Dispenza? What's all this manifestation about? We've got people that are trying alternative therapies, homeopathy, naturopathy, all sorts of things that they never would have been interested in before. There is a great awakening. It's not only the age of Aquarius, but the 7 universal year and your 7 personal year that you guys are in has really catapulted that movement going. So it's really amazing that you are in that 7 year personally as well as the universal year. And for the month of November, you guys are in a 9 month. And here's your numerology guidance card for the month. It's the card of completion. All right. So your homework this month for the month of November, to raise your vibration, in order for you to maintain a high vibration and to be in synchronicity with life itself, it's about letting go. Accept, let go, and move on. You don't have to always fix everything or have everything all solved, all worked out, and all fixed in order to release it and let it go and move on. It's about learning how to make peace with the brokenness, make peace with the unfixable, make peace with the mess. And if you can handle that, you can almost handle anything, because we have it in our minds and our heads as human beings that everything must be sorted out in order for us before we can move on. But it's about learning to just let go and move forward regardless, because it's just lowering our vibration. It's just holding us back. And that goes for things like revenge, Sometimes that sort of being in that space, well, a lot of the time, revenge is such a low frequency. I've seen so many people get diseases and sicknesses because they really couldn't let go of their need for revenge, or their desperation and their need for everything to be resolved, or to get back what they were owed. Sometimes you have to cut your losses for peace. Sometimes you have to accept the unfixable, or the injustice of things and the injustice of life in order to raise your vibration. And so it's a matter of really choosing your battles. Now, also for November, it's out with the ultimate, way for the new, and it can be a really amazing payback year, or month, I should say, where things you've been chipping away and working on can finally come to fruition. Rewards, payoffs, payback, karmic completion. It's a really good month for all of that. Some really cool things can happen in a 9, but also if there are things that need to end, then go out of your way to make it happen. Don't just hang in there or better the devil you know, so I'll just stay where I am if it's not good for you. You have to have the courage to let go. You have to have the courage to end what needs to be end, to be in that space of completion so that you can move towards all the new opportunities that are just sitting there waiting for you. They're waiting for you to let go. They're waiting for you to complete and end things so that you can, what is it? Where one door closes, another one opens. And that's what's in store for you guys. So whether it's clearing out your literal closet and throwing things away, or going through your home and downsizing and removing things you don't need, or the clutter to lighten things up, when you let go of something, new things can come. So I'll leave that with you. And I'll move on now to personal year number 8. You guys are in a year of manifestation. It is a very powerful year for the law of attraction. So it's really important that you understand and that you're very diligent and that you are paying extra attention and observing yourself as to what your perceptions are, how you view life, what you're thinking, what thoughts you have about some of the things that are going on in your life. And also, are you going out of your way to deliberately attract the things you want? This is the year to do that work. This is the year to get clear about what it is you want and to start visualizing what that looks like in your life. How does it feel? Close your eyes, visualize. Visualization, all it is daydreaming, fantasizing, imagining your life as you want it to be. All right, and focusing your attention on that. How does it feel? What does it look like? And play that over and over again. Also a year for you to, some of you will have career changes or things at work, or job changes, or also just more work on your plate. Also a time to budget your finances. Don't take on too many new financial things, or, just be smart about your spending. Don't overspend, okay? Don't overcommit yourself, and take care of any outstanding legal issues. But for the month of November, you're in a 1 month, and that is about new opportunities, new beginnings, that you are extremely powerful as a manifestor this month, because number 8 is the number of manifestation, and number 1 is a number of creativity and manifestation as well. So get off your butt and get clear about what you want and start taking the steps to manifest it into reality. Okay. Now, what do you want? I want you to have a look at this one. This one is saying green light. Move forward, all guns blazing. Great time for you to take action. All right, you've got the green light there for you. You've got the universe supporting you. You've got all this fresh energy, fresh ideas, and opportunities are there for you this month. So notice them, recognize them. Don't just be so distracted about what's wrong or what you're upset about or what you're worried about that you just don't even see them and you overlook them. Be in that optimistic mindset, raise your vibration, be positive, and know that things are there for you and you'll notice them. Take the time to smell the flowers. Take the time to see the beauty in life, and you will notice all these opportunities that are around you. But you have to be in a clear mind, and you have to have an open heart, and you have to be not distracted and not bogged down in misery. All right. So I want you to do and I know it's not easy, and I know it's not always possible, especially when you're in the middle of some major drama, some major heartache, or some major life challenges or family challenges. And I know it's not always easy. So I know that. But you can be in those challenges. You can be in that state of mind. You can be in situations and environments with an optimistic mindset. All right. So it's the mindset that I'm talking about. That's the key. I know, I'm in this challenging situation, but I believe that there's a way out. I believe that it won't always be this bad. I believe that it's getting better and better every day. I believe I'm strong enough to get through this. I believe I'm emotionally stable to handle anything that life throws at me. See what I mean? I choose to believe there are opportunities even when it feels like and it seems like there are none. That kind of thing. Go for it, because it's a brilliant combination of numbers you're in, and I want you to make the most of them. So last but by no means least, and here's your card, by the way, number 8s. New beginnings. There you go. Go for it. Go make those new beginnings happening. Oh, you're welcome, Tula. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, thank you, Diane. You're very welcome. Thank you. I've subscribed on your site. Oh, bless. Well, you never know. You might win that report. So check your inbox in a week, especially your spam and stuff as well. And you're in a new beginning too, Bev. That's great. I know that you listen regularly because I see your comments pop up. So thank you for being a regular to this forecast. And last but by no means least, we've got number 9, the personal year number 9, and you guys are in the last year of this 9-year cycle where it's out with the old to make way for the new. And things can come to fruition that you've been chipping away and working on. You can have some really amazing things happen this year. So I want you to be in that mindset. You've got 2 more months left to go. And I want you to have the affirmation that there are opportunities out there for me and they are on their way. You might say, I don't know what, I don't know when, but something awesome is on its way. You're in this whole new beginning next year, and we're just fine-tuning the final details for this last 9-year cycle that you are now tying up. You're coming to the end of it. All right. So I want you to be the best you that you can be. You've done a lot of work on yourself in these last 9 years. Now we're coming up to the final stretch, and you're going to be so proud of yourself at the end of December when this year is over. And you will look back on this year and say, man, I've done some really good work. And there are so many good things in store for you. And what's November going to bring for you? Well, the first thing you need to know is you are in a 2-month. And number 2, one of the things, and this is a key theme for you this month, number 2, patience. All right, patience. And that means when you're in a 2 cycle, you can't force things to happen. Don't push things. Don't push people. You got to go with the flow and be really cooperative and like really receptive and really trusting, let go and let God. It's almost like I trust that things will work out. You might be wanting an answer straight away from something, but the more you force it, the more you push it, the longer you'll have to wait because it's the opposing energy to what you need to be. So in order to raise your vibration this month, I want you to trust more, trust life, trust the universe, trust yourself that everything is already working out for you. And there's a saying, it's a tattoo that I've got on my arm, what is meant for you won't pass you by. What is meant for you won't pass you by. And that means some of these things that you want, they already exist there for you. They already are. Your job is to get out of the way and let it happen. But the more you force things to happen, that desperate vibration is a repulsive energy and it just delays everything. Sometimes it even prevents it fully. And that will be why things may not happen because you want them so desperately and you're pushing so hard. And that opposing force the universe cannot manifest in a positive way under those circumstances. So I want you to be trusting. I want you to be self-loving, having self-confidence, having faith in yourself. I want you to be really cooperative with others as well this month. That's going to help raise your vibration. Be that shoulder to cry on. Your intuition is going to be through the roof this month. So use that to your advantage. Maybe do an online class or even look on YouTube at videos of how you can enhance your psychic abilities or your intuition. Spend some quiet time alone, listening to the voice of your higher self, listening to those instincts, that inner knowing, that inner guidance, connecting with your spirit guides and angels. Maybe dig out some oracle cards, or if you don't already have some, buy some. Practice by doing some readings on yourself, readings with others. Spiritual development is really important for you, but self-love is huge. Being cooperative and kind to yourself and very understanding and patient towards yourself as well as others. So I will leave that with you and thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next month. Oh, you're welcome, Nancy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Idri. Oh, you're wonderful too. I love you guys. Thank you, Bev. Oh, thank you. I love you guys, man. Oh, I'll see you next month. Thank you. Bye.